I told you that Bugs Bunny isn't actually a rabbit? Because here's the twist. He's closer to a hare. And that tiny detail opens the door to a wild world of differences most people never notice. Hares and rabbits might look like cousins at a family reunion, but under the fur they're playing completely different survival games. Rabbits are the soft-spoken introverts of the animal kingdom. They're careful, cautious, and love staying close to home. Hares, on the other hand, are the adrenaline junkies, the fast, furious sprinters that thrive on chaos. You'll see exactly why in a moment, but let's just say if rabbits are the nerds with a Netflix subscription, hares are the extreme sports fanatics skydiving on weekends. Both rabbits and hares belong to the same family, Leporidae. But unlike your average family gathering, these two aren't just quirky siblings. They've evolved to solve life's problems in totally different ways. And once you know their tricks, you'll never look at a bunny or a hare the same way again. Let's start with the baby drama. Rabbits are helicopter parents. They keep their newborns, called kits, tucked away in cozy underground nurseries. These little bundles are born blind, naked, and about as helpless as a phone with 1% battery. They need constant protection and time to grow before they're ready to face the world. Hares, however, take the tough love route. Their babies, called leverets, are born ready to roll, eyes wide open, fur coat on, and practically shouting, "Come at me, world!" It's survival of the fittest right from the delivery room. Imagine if human babies were born sprinting out of the hospital. That's the hare's level of independence. Speaking of sprinting, here's where hares absolutely humiliate rabbits. Hares can run up to 45 miles per hour. That's faster than most cars in city traffic. Rabbits? They max out around 30 miles per hour, which sounds impressive, until you put them next to a hare. It's like comparing a sprinter to someone still tying their shoelaces. But wait, rabbits don't need speed. They have strategy. Instead of dashing in the open, they zigzag like crazy, confusing predators until the chase feels like a bad video game glitch. Combine that with their underground burrow networks, called warrens, and rabbits turn hide and seek into an Olympic sport. Hares don't bother with burrows. They live life in the fast lane, literally. Their homes are just shallow depressions in the grass, called forms. Not much protection, right? Which is why speed is their insurance policy. If a fox shows up, hares don't waste time building walls. They just blast off like furry rockets. Now let's talk fashion. Because yes, even in the wild style matters. Rabbits usually have shorter ears with rounded tips like modest little antennae. Hares? Long, dramatic ears tipped in black, basically nature's way of giving them built-in eyeliner. Those ears aren't just for show. They work like satellite dishes, catching the faintest sounds of predators sneaking up. And the legs? Rabbits have shorter, stockier legs designed for quick bursts and tight maneuvers. Hares sport long, muscular legs built for power and speed. If rabbits are compact sedans, hares are sleek sports cars with turbo boost. Here's another twist: diet. Both rabbits and hares are plant munchers, but they don't always shop in the same grocery aisle. Rabbits prefer soft, leafy greens, grasses, clover, veggies if they can raid your garden. Hares? They'll gnaw on tougher stuff like bark and twigs, especially in winter when nothing else is around. They're like the survivalists who claim they can live off tree bark and still smile about it. And let's not forget one of the most bizarre behaviors both share: psychotrophy. That's the fancy word for eating their own poop. Yep, you heard that right. But it's not as gross as it sounds. It's genius. Their digestive systems aren't great at pulling all the nutrients from plants the first time around. So they recycle by eating special soft droppings, which gives them a second shot at nutrition. It's nature's version of hitting replay on a song you didn't fully appreciate the first time. So why do people keep mixing up hares and rabbits? Because honestly, they look ridiculously similar at first glance. Both have twitchy noses, fluffy tails, and a reputation for multiplying like crazy. But once you know the differences, spotting them becomes easy. Think of rabbits as the homebodies and hares as the thrill seekers. Even their mating rituals scream personality clash. Rabbits quietly court each other underground. Hares? They host full-on boxing matches. During breeding season, females will literally stand up and punch males in the face to test their persistence. If he survives a few rounds without running away, he earns the right to be a dad. Nature's dating game is brutal. And speaking of multiplying, rabbits are reproductive machines. A single female can produce several litters a year with up to a dozen kits each time. No wonder the phrase breeding like rabbits exists. Hares reproduce less frequently, but their leverets are born stronger and more independent, so survival rates balance out. Now here's a curveball. Neither hares nor rabbits are technically rodents. People lump them together with rats and mice, but they actually belong to a separate order called Lagomorpha. The big giveaway? They have 4 incisor teeth on the top, while rodents only have 2. That extra pair is like bonus dental equipment, perfect for constant chewing. Culturally, both hares and rabbits have hopped into myths and legends worldwide. Rabbits are often symbols of luck and fertility. Think of the Easter bunny showering kids with chocolate. Hares, on the other hand, are tricksters, warriors, and sometimes even moon deities in folklore. In some cultures, the hare's image is etched on the surface of the moon itself. And speaking of myths, let's circle back to Bugs Bunny. Why isn't he technically a rabbit? Because he has all the hallmarks of a hare: long legs, big ears, and a knack for outrunning enemies in the open. Warner Brothers might have mislabeled him, but his personality screams hare energy. Suddenly, that carrot-chomping confidence makes a lot more sense. Let's not ignore their predators. Rabbits are constantly on the menu for foxes, hawks, snakes, and basically anything carnivorous that fits their size. Hares deal with the same dangers, but their speed makes them tougher to catch. Some can even leap 10 feet in a single bound, enough to clear an Olympic hurdle without breaking a sweat. And then there's humans. We've domesticated rabbits into beloved pets and fluffy show animals. Hares, not so much. They're too wild, too wired, too untamable. That's why you won't find a hare in a pet store, no matter how hard you look. Unless, of course, you confuse it with a giant rabbit breed, which, yes, exist and look like they could bench press you. Here's something that might shock you. Size? Rabbits are generally smaller, weighing just a few pounds. Hares can be absolute units, tipping the scales at over 10 pounds and standing nearly 2 feet tall when upright. Imagine a rabbit the size of a medium dog staring at you across a field. Congratulations, you've just met a hare. But here's the question that keeps biologists fascinated. Why did evolution split them this way? Why make one cautious and burrow-loving and the other bold and turbocharged? The answer is adaptation. Rabbits evolved in environments where hiding underground worked best. Hares evolved in open spaces where running like crazy was the only chance of survival. Both strategies worked, so both animals thrived. And now, they've spread across the globe. From suburban backyards to frozen tundras, rabbits and hares continue their eternal game of same but different. One hides, the other runs. One nurtures helpless babies, the other raises little warriors. 2 paths, 1 family, endless confusion for the rest of us. So the next time you spot a long-eared furball in the grass, look closer. Are the ears dramatically long with black tips? Are the legs built for sprinting? Is it chilling in the open instead of near a burrow? That's no rabbit. It's a hare living life in the fast lane. And if it suddenly bolts at 45 miles per hour, don't bother chasing. You're not catching it. Because when it comes to hares versus rabbits, the real difference isn't just biology. It's personality. Rabbits are the cautious strategists. Hares are the bold thrill seekers. And together, they prove there's more than one way to outsmart the jaws of a hungry fox.